Hello, welcome to today's video. We are on page 219 of the Keyboard Musicianship Book 1. Once again, Harmonization Studies. We're now doing page 219, which is number 3 and 4. First one is called Folk Song from the United States. And number 3 is going to be 3 voices only, which is 1, 2 in the right hand, 1 in the left. Same thing, step 1 is to write the bass in the left hand according to the chord symbols. Most of these are in root position, so it's not going to be that hard. The pattern is to put 2 quarter notes per measure, and so that seems to be the same throughout. And in the right hand, we're simply going to add 1 note below the given eighth notes. We can see that we have some repetition here, so we can simply copy and paste and make this the best decision possible. So go ahead now, make your decisions, and then we're going to talk about it and play it. Okay, so now that we've come up with our decisions, let's go ahead now and play through. Here we go. 1, 2. Repetition. I may have played through that quite fast, but I'm going to go ahead and just mention one measure. On measure number 6, we see here that, well, in the previous system, usually the E flat chord was played in this position. We have a 6 interval in the right hand, and that allows us to not repeat the root. And we have the 5th and the 3rd being acknowledged. But because we have an awkward jump of a 6 in the melody, I thought it would be a good idea to simply, instead of going down here, to have to jump way up here, instead of doing it that way, why not just double the 3rd? Interesting choice. So it's not impossible to do that. We can do that if we want. But I want you to think, I want you to really try to understand my reasons for doing this. So in the previous measure, number 5 there, we have same thing again as we've done before. And then here 2. Now, when we have E flat, we could have 2 as eighth notes there, but I wanted to make it a G only because on beat number 2, we have a C minor chord, which has never been played yet. And so the common tone would be G. If you want, you could play it as before. And you can simply play the first B flat down here as an eighth note, allowing the end of 1 to be simply a G by itself. That's a choice if you want to prepare to come up to this no higher hand position. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it as just G. But just so you know, either option is fine. Okay, so either here or with this decision I made. And then F7 is I apologize for that. That was not supposed to be an A, that was supposed to be an E flat because of the F7. And that moves the 6th intervals, which is fine, parallel motion. Okay, so let me make that quick change there. Not that one, that one. Okay, and now for number 4, folk song, which is traditional. We have in the left hand, creating those according to the chord symbols. Remember, when we have a chord that does not have a measure that does not have a chord symbol, it simply means that the previous chord is still the same for that one. So in the left hand, we have a half note and a quarter rest on beat number 3. And so that's going to be what we do throughout. I did have to write it quarter rest over here. Last measure has been completed for us. And we're simply adding 2 half notes in the harmony for the right hand, and that's to be for beats 1 and 2, quarter rest on beat number 3. If you do not have a quarter rest on beat number 3 for the bottom voices, go ahead and add it in. That's going to be here and there. Last measure will be the odd half note. Okay, so go ahead now, pause the video, take some time to complete your harmonies. And now here are the answers for folk song. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Excuse me? Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about measure number 6, right there. So we have an E minor chord here, but the first beat is not a tone, it's like a neighboring tone for E minor. It's not until we get to beat number 2 that we actually have the note for E minor. Now, because we have a neighboring tone before it, and we're supposed to have 2 notes in the melody, we're going to go ahead and add this G right here and this E to allow for the harmony. And that's going to create a second. Okay. Another option that we can do is from here is to play B and E, because we do eventually play the third, and we don't really like to double the third. Once again, I'm making that choice to double the third. But if you want, you can do it this way. But remember, in the next measure, you do have to jump up quite a bit in order to play the A7 chord, and then, of course, D major. Remember, when voice leading, we don't like to generally move too far from the previous chords. We like to stay in the same general area. Okay, so once again. Or if you want, you can do it this way. The first option sounds a little crunchier, but it's perfectly fine to do it either way. All right, so those are the answers. Let's go and practice that, and we will see you at next lesson. Bye.